Today, on this stage, I'd like to share the incredible experience to the United States. I hope my story not only gives you the glimpse of adventures I had, but also shares how well prepared we are as heavy students for such journeys. During the summer break, I had the amazing opportunity to visit the US, which was my very first trip abroad. I've been looking forward to it for what felt like forever, and it truly left a lasting impression on me. It was a dream come true, and I was so excited I could barely sit still. From that moment on, I began counting down the days until our departure. I kept daydreaming about everything I would do once I got there, and the excitement wouldn't just leave my mind. About a week or two before our flight, everyone who was going to the US gathered around the table to plan our trip. We talked about the places we wanted to visit and the foods we couldn't wait to try. We even used Google Maps to plan out every detail of our itinerary. And the day finally came to step foot on the US soil. We spent 3 amazing weeks in Houston, 1 week in DC, and another week in New York City. While in Houston, I spent the week in Monarch, a summer camp where I took art class in the mornings and the fashion session in the afternoons. The camp was a mix of cultures, with students from countries like India and Canada. I'd expect to be the only Asian, but to my surprise, there were many Asian students. When I first mentioned that I just arrived from Korea and that English wasn't my first language, my fellow campers were really astonished. They had assumed that I was a native English speaker who'd grown up in America. Their surprise only grew when they heard me speak without an accent, just like a native English speaker. That moment filled me with confidence and a deep sense of pride inside me, and also for our school's approach to language learning. The trip to Houston and DC was really easy because there was my mom's cousin, a native, leading us everywhere with her car, taking us everywhere, and saying all the things for us. But in New York City, things were a lot different. We were on our own since my mom's cousin wasn't with us, and I had to take the lead. Normally, my mom handles everything when we travel in Korea, but since she doesn't speak English well, I had to do all the talking. From small tasks like ordering food to bigger ones like navigating the city and making a reservation, I was in charge. To make things trickier, my mom had an issue with her phone, so we couldn't use the Google Maps. That meant I had to ask every passerby for directions constantly. I think I asked almost everyone I saw. It reminded me of the city exploration program, as known as 도시 탐험 위대의 세빛, where I was the team leader and had to manage everything. Looking back, this experience really prepared me for this trip. Moreover, New York wasn't the safest place, and on our first day, I was a bit traumatized by the chaos around me. The crowded streets were full of people yelling, jaywalking, and homeless individuals lying on the sidewalks, which made the atmosphere feel hostile and overwhelming. Even though I have always dreamed of this New York, the first sight of the city made me a bit fearful, and I felt shaken for the rest of the week. But as time went on, I got used to the city's pace. Eventually, asking for directions and taking other tasks became second nature. So I guess I have overcome my fear. I am thankful to God for giving my family an unforgettable experience and fond memories. I am also thankful for this time that allowed me to share new things about myself in a new country that exposed me to great opportunities. And it was all possible because there was hardly any language barrier in the things we learned as Hebit. And since you guys are the Hebit students, I believe that every one of you will be able to experience what I had in the States. I assure you that you will have no problem understanding and speaking like a native, and even discover the plans that God has for you. For making me one into almost no English barrier and the one with good leadership, I really appreciate my school and a solid curriculum, the Hebit way for preparing me for the next step. Thank you for listening.